Hi everybody, and did my video just freeze for a second? Well, whatever. Anyways, welcome back to my video, whether you watch it on YouTube or on Rumble, whichever one you are watching this on. In this video, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinion about the recent feud between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I waited this long to make a video about this because I wanted to see what becomes of this, what comes out of this, and what new information comes out. So, Donald Trump and Elon Musk apparently had a feud, although there was some speculation about it being fake, for some sort of a strategy to get the Democrats to agree to release the Epstein files or something. Because of that post that Elon Musk said, claiming that Trump was in the Epstein files. Interestingly enough, he has since deleted that post, and apparently is ready to reconcile again. However, Donald Trump has not shown any interest of, at least not as of yet, of wanting to reconcile. I do believe they will reconcile at some point, and I also believe that this is just one of those. It is a difference of. It is an argument based off of a difference of opinion among around a certain things. I mean, there is no good guy, there is no bad guy. It's just a difference of opinion. Okay, so yeah, both sides may have valid points, but both of them, and you might see where both of them are coming from. Even Donald Trump himself sees where Elon is coming from. And so when he commented about that in a recent video. So I do believe that this feud is temporary, and that it will blow over. They will eventually reconcile. Yeah. And this right here is bound to happen. I mean, whenever you have, if this is a real conflict, if this is a real feud, I just say that, this is something that's bound to happen at some point. Happens to anybody, happens to everybody. Even the best of friends can have feuds, momentary feuds, difference of opinion, so some fighting, and sometimes when an argument happens, both sides act a little bit immature. So I'm not sure if what's going on. If Elon Musk posted that Trump made that post about Trump being in the Epstein files, a sort of strategy to get reverse psychology to get the left to want to release the Epstein files, or was this sort of like he was mad and in the heat of the moment decided to make that claim as sort of way to sort of get back at him? And if that's true, that's probably why he deleted that since. Because it was said in the heat of the moment, he didn't really mean it. Because sometimes during an argument, stuff gets said that shouldn't get said. And in my opinion, this kind of stuff should be kept offline, out of the view of the public. Whenever there's feuding between whenever there's feuding going on between public figures, it should be kept private. Okay, it should be kept private, in my opinion, because it can potentially cause division. It can cause people to take sides, and to my surprise, a lot of even Trump supporters were actually wanting them to reconcile. And maybe Elon did get a little bit of backlash and criticism for making that comment about Trump being in the Epstein files. But we all know if there was anything incriminating against Trump in the Epstein files, it would have been released when Biden was in office. It would have been released in the Biden administration. Okay? It would have came out already. So that was most likely either something that was said in the heat of the moment as a way to sort of, get back at Trump, because you're in an argument and sometimes things get heated up, things get said that you don't really mean, things that you later regret saying, and then when you calm down, you realize, you know what, I was wrong, I should never have said that. Or it was something that was strategic and a way to use reverse psychology to get the left to push to have the Epstein files released, assuming that they're standing against it. Because I'm assuming that a lot of people who they would support are in the Epstein files, so they're trying to block that from coming, if that's the case. And that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know for sure. That is speculation on my part. That would not surprise me if the left was blocking the Epstein files from being released, and this was a way to sort of get them to call for it to be released as reverse psychology. Also, as a side note, I found out what Taco Trump meant after I made that video reacting to the third part 3 of reacting to anti-Trump Twitter post. That is crazy that I could find content, and even now, if I wanted to, I could look in a couple minutes, find enough to post to make maybe like 8 more posts or something, so I can keep the video shorter and make a part 4. Then in a few days I could take another screenshot, make a part 5, and yeah, I mean, I could keep this going. I could keep that going until Trump is out of office. But then I could probably still keep that going with whoever is next that they keep it bringing up and attacking, because this has already been exposed who they are. It's kind of things that they support. So yeah. So I believe that this feud is temporary. If this is a real feud, it's temporary. They're going to reconcile at some point. I'm assuming that Trump is a busy man as president of the United States, and he doesn't got time for. He doesn't have much time for this kind of stuff right now. So that's probably one of the reasons why he has no interest in talking to Elon right now. Probably wants to kind of calm down because of the accusation about him being in the Trump file, about being in the Epstein files. I mean, and I believe that post was supposed to apply him like being on that list. And I think there is evidence that he was on some flight logs. Trump did used to be friends with Epstein, but apparently Trump cut off Epstein once he found out who he was. Which is a good thing, because sometimes, and that's just reality, whenever you're someone like Trump, you hang out with these kind of people, with certain kind of people, and you make a friendship with these kind of people, and you don't really know who they are, and at first, yeah, I mean, you might make friends with someone who's turned out to be very, years later turned out to be a creepy stalker or something, and so it is possible. So I think that Trump association with Epstein was before he knew the truth about him, and then he distanced himself from him, cut off Epstein once he found out the truth about him. That's it. Okay? And I think the same could be true about anybody with any celebrity who later turned out to be on the Diddy list and doing all kinds of crazy stuff that they had no prior knowledge of, but once they found out, probably distanced themselves. So prior association in and of itself means nothing unless you could prove very recent, it was something that's more recent, and that it was known. Okay, that the truth was known about them. Okay? So if this was a real feud, I'm going to assume that that Elon Musk accusation about Trump being in the Epstein file was kind of, I don't know, maybe a little hurtful against Trump, which may have a lot to do with why he doesn't want to talk to Elon right now. Kind of need a chance to kind of cool off, calm down, kind of think things over. I mean, whenever you have a friend with an argument, like you grow a close friendship with somebody, then you have an argument, and then that friend makes, in the heat of the moment, makes a crazy accusation against you that's not true, and anybody who would know that it's not true, because it would have came out already. But that kind of argument kind of, I would imagine that kind of stings a little bit. But I believe that in time that they will reconcile. These people were, they are both people, they're human beings, they have their flaws. And sometimes in the heat of the moment, even the best of friends can have their fights, their arguments, difference of opinions, and sometimes say stuff in the heat of the moment that's not true, that they don't really mean. And then reconcile and form a stronger bond, and that's what I believe is going to happen. Okay? And notice something. I want to notice something. You didn't see MAGA calling for violence against Elon after that fight happened. Okay? You didn't see MAGA doing that. In fact, a lot of them was calling for them to reconcile and maybe sort of criticized and called out Elon on his post about what he said about Trump being in the Epstein files. But aside from that, they wanted to reconcile and all that stuff. So yeah. Some people believe that it's fake, but I guess only time will tell. So, yeah, this is a crazy week. I didn't know whether to make a video talking about that boater attack last week or what. It's crazy week. And what happened in Boulder, by the way, as long as I mentioned it, is why ICE is so important. That's why border control is so important, because you don't know who you are letting into the country when you have open borders, when you're calling for open borders. And that is it for this video. Bye.